The funeral of King Dean I Winthrop. Breaking news. King Dean I, the beloved monarch of Windenburg, has passed away peacefully in his palace. His death marks the end of a historic era, as he was one of the nation's most loved rulers. Known for his dedication to his people and his steady hand in times of change, mourners have already begun to gather outside the palace, paying tribute to a ruler remembered for his compassion, wisdom, and devotion to the kingdom.
Channel 4 News here to show you live the funeral of King Dean I. Thank you for joining us on this sad day as we come together to remember and bid farewell to our beloved king. Today, the entire nation pauses to pay tribute as the king's funeral procession begins its final journey through the capital, allowing citizens to say their final goodbyes. And we have started, and this is a historic day. The streets are filled with people, many united in remembrance and respect. Here in Windenburg, there is an incredible silence, filled with reverence and respect. Thousands have gathered, waiting patiently for the moment the procession will pass by. The king's casket, draped in the national flag, will travel through several key locations before arriving at Willow Abbey. The king was more than a ruler. He was a symbol of unity, compassion, and resilience. Throughout his reign, he was deeply loved and respected. The atmosphere here is filled with deep emotion as thousands stand shoulder to shoulder. The royal carriage that is carrying the king's casket is followed by his two sons, Prince Dean II and Liam. As we look at these stunning aerial images, it's clear that people from every corner of the kingdom have come together in remarkable numbers. It's hard to overstate the sense of loss today, but there's also a clear message of unity as the king's legacy is passed on to the next generation. As the procession moves towards Willow Abbey, we encourage everyone to reflect on the values the king represented: resilience, kindness, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of his people. We'll continue to follow the procession live, honouring each moment of this historic day. Stay with us for this tribute as we remember a king who dedicated his life to his people and his nation. And here we are, we have arrived at Willow Abbey. We are just waiting for everyone else to arrive before the ceremony begins. In the car is Queen Consort Isabella and Prince Dean II, his wife, Princess Consort Diane, and Liam's wife, Danielle. As you will see, they will be getting out of the car, heading into the Abbey soon, waiting for the king's casket to go by, as they will follow. Now we're just waiting, and there it is. It's being taken into the church, and the ceremony will officially begin in just a short moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, gathered guests, loyal citizens, and cherished family, we stand here today to bid farewell to our beloved sovereign, His Majesty Dean I, whose spirit has departed from this earthly realm. In his courage, wisdom, and compassion, he served not only as our ruler, but as a father to our nation. Today, we honor his life, his legacy, and his eternal place in our hearts. You may be seated. Almighty and everlasting God, we gather here today to remember the life of King Dean I. Grant us strength and unity in this time of grief, as we commend his spirit to your care. May his soul find eternal peace, and may his memory live on in the hearts of his people. Our king was a man of remarkable dignity and grace. He led us through times of hardship and triumph, ever a steady hand and an unwavering heart. His reign brought peace and prosperity, and his love for his people. At this time, I invite all present to join us in a moment of silence as we remember and honor our beloved king. As we bid farewell to His Majesty, may the blessings of peace and love be upon him. May his soul be free, and may his spirit rest in everlasting light. And may the grace of God bring comfort to all who mourn him. Let us remember him as he lived, bravely with grace and honor as a servant to his people. In the name of the people, the kingdom, and the crown, we say our final farewell.
The casket has now left the church and is now getting ready to go to the royal burial site. Following the royal carriage will be the king's sons, Prince Dean II and Liam. The royal family bows their heads and curtsies to show respect as the procession begins. This marks the last chapter of a remarkable life, dedicated to service. People are lining the streets, some standing in silence as they await the king's final passage through the city and to the place where the king will be left to rest. There are tears, silence, and even applause in some parts of the crowd, each person expressing their respect and gratitude in their own way. As the procession approaches the royal burial site, we understand that the family will gather privately for the final rites, but they have allowed these moments to be live for the people of Windenburg and the world. Now we just wait as they make their way to where the king will be laid to rest. Make sure to stay with us as we record live the last few moments that we will have with our king.
Friends, family, honored guests, and citizens of this great nation, we gather here at the final resting place of His Majesty King Dean I. With heavy hearts, we come to lay our beloved king to rest. Today we honor a life spent in service, a reign marked by wisdom, and a spirit that shall live on in the hearts of his people. His Majesty was a beacon of strength and hope for all of us. He guided our nation through both peace and hardship with a steady hand, always placing his people above all else. Today we prepare to say our last goodbye. We hold in our hearts the memory of a king who ruled with compassion and courage. Almighty God, we stand before you to commend the soul of our king to your care. May he find peace and rest in the eternal kingdom. Grant his loved ones strength in their grief and give solace to his people, for they have lost a father and a protector. May his memory be blessed and his legacy a guarding light for future generations. Now we commit King Dean I to his final resting place, as a symbol of our enduring love and gratitude. May he rest in peace.